Well, I'm just here to say welcome and thank you to everybody for joining. And then my colleagues Will and Alana are going to take you through the session. But it's really fantastic to see so many people sign up for this. It's the first time we've offered training like this. I'll be really keen to hear afterwards, and we might send out a short survey to see whether this suited your needs, whether there's other kind of training you would like, and how we can help. Will is the expert on Canva, so he will talk you through it very shortly. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rebecca. Yeah, good morning. Welcome. It's great to see a load of you here. Yeah, if people are unmuted, can you just mute just to stop having all the noise going around and about? And likewise, if you don't want to be seen on the recording, just turn your camera off. That's totally fine. That would be great. Yeah, so we want to put the session on this morning because Canva, some of you may have heard about it, some of you may not have, is a really, really useful tool which we believe can absolutely benefit you guys in your churches across the diocese and really be helpful in all aspects of what you do, whether that is through creating things to go out online or printed off or in person, somewhere in the middle for social media, for letters, for whatever you can imagine that you might need to create. This is a really, really helpful and simple tool. And we thought, I mean, I love using it. I've used it loads over the last 3 years. And it's absolutely transformed the way I work. So we wanted to share some of this with you guys and to just take you through how to use it. As Rebecca said, this is all being recorded, so we'll try not go too fast through this. However, you will be able to watch it back. There are also a load of tutorials online. So don't switch off from us just to go and watch them online. But if you need to go and catch up after, you can find different bits and pieces, and you can always drop one of us a message. We're more than happy to help if we can. We are going to, as part of this, just on a side note, we're going to be using the Church of England's Follow the Star during the song resources, which you can find all on the church near you. So hopefully you are aware of a church near you. Hopefully a lot of you will be on it. Everything that we find which looks very fancy like that is all on there. So to do that, you can go on to churchnearyou.com or .co.uk.com, and you'll be able to find all of these resources there. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat, and or ask us at the end, and we will do that. So Alana, you're going to start off for us.
Hello everyone, good to see you all. Yeah, as just a quick intro, as Will said, I'm Alana, I'm the other member of the comms team. I'm just going to open up Canva and share my screen. Okay, so yeah, this is the screen you'll first get when you open up Canva. Pretty, self-explanatory, very similar to other websites that you'll sign up to. You can just click the sign up button. We've already got an account, so I won't sign up separately, but we go through Google. Obviously, it's just easier because then it's linked to your email address, and it's way quicker than setting up a new email, etc., etc. And then I'll just hand over to Will to speak through how you can get across to a pro account.
The great thing with Canva is it's absolutely free. You can go on right now and use Canva for free, and that will have the capability to transform what you do. If you want to take it to another level, you can get Canva Pro, which normally you have to pay for, and it's not cheap. Being churches, having had it and with a charity number, you can get the pro version, which you normally pay, I think it's something like 120, 190 pounds a year for, if not more than that, for free. So everything that we're going to do today, at times you'll see a little crown in the corner. If you see that icon next to something, that means you need the pro account to do it. And let me tell you, we did this the other day for the diocese, and we got it. And it's really, really straightforward. It will take you 5 minutes to do, and then sort of 3 days of waiting for them to approve your thing. your request. Let me just show you how you do that. If you Google Canva nonprofit, and we're saying this now because what we want to do, let me just share this. What we want to do is to help you be able to use this tool to its fullest capacity. If you Google Canva nonprofit, you get this website right at the top. Canva for nonprofits. That just means Canva for charities. And just follow the link. It is so simple. We've got an account, so it's not going to work on this one. All you do is you put in your name, your email address, your charity number. Hopefully someone in your church will know how to do that, or what that number is. If you find it, for churches, we come under a registered non-profit organisation. You choose your country, so United Kingdom, and then you can search your number already, and that should be really straightforward. We have had questions in the past of if you can use the diocese number, and you're not able to do that because we've already got our one. However, you should be able to do that nice and straightforward. Yeah, Julia, see.
We have 16 churches in our benefice,
Wow.
and of the 16, only one is a registered charity. Am I thinking that the other 15 can't sign up for Canva Pro? Because I'm sure there'll be other people whose churches aren't registered charities.
Under one Pro license, you have 10 seats, so you could create a Benefice Canva Pro account.
But you would need one at least of the churches to be a registered charity.
Yes, and then what we'll do is we'll show you later. You can create a team in essence. So in your instance, each member of the team might be a different church, and that is totally fine. You can also slightly get around it by multiple people can log onto one account at one time. So both myself and Alana at the moment are just using one diocesan account, and you can do that. You can work collaboratively on it. So we're going to open Canva up. Some of you may have had a chance to have a bit of a look already. If you have, that's great. If you haven't, don't worry. Let me share this. Alana, can you see that? Perfect. This is what Canva looks like. It looks a lot more complicated than it is, I think, although I don't think it looks massively complicated. The best way I always find of learning how to do this is by doing it. So what I'd really recommend you do is once this call is finished, go and give it a go. You don't have to spend hours and hours and hours on it, but go and have a play, see what you can get creating, and just see where you end up, really. This is what Canva looks like. You can also download this as a desktop app, which I like using. For this one, I'll show you it on the internet just because that is absolutely what you'll be using as a minimum. So if you look at this, along the top, you can basically ignore all those little headings. You can see what account is logged in. So Theo is Diocese of Salisbury. You've got to create a design button, which hopefully is relatively straightforward. When you press that, that'll help you create a design. Down the left-hand side, we'll start there. And the way we're just going to talk through the window of it, just so you have a rough idea of what is what. You've got your home, which is what you're on now. Ignore the bit where it says at the top. You can see it says Pro and one little person. That is because there's one person in our team. As we go, we use this as the diocese, we'll create a little bit more in that. We're just at the early stages of doing that. However, I used to work for a church down in Poole, and we used to have 5 or 6 people within it, and then that reflects it. Projects is everything that you have worked on. In your project folder, you'll be able to see a load of different things. Some of this you might recognize from being up online, some you won't, but these are what we're working on at the moment. You can add a new folder. So like you would have in your Files tab, on your computer, you can create folders. So you might call something social media. You can share it with people in a team or not in a team. You can keep it private. You can create a folder, and then you can put different bits and pieces into there. Along the top of that, you see your folders, designs, images, and videos that you've uploaded. Hopefully that's all relatively straightforward. Templates. Canva is fantastic because it has so many pre-made templates which you can use. You can tap into what other people have done and edit their designs for your context, which is really, really helpful and can absolutely save a load of time. If just in scrolling through, you will see different things that there is. Some of it's really random. Some of it you might go, oh, could use that. In which case, we'll show you how to edit that in a moment. Brand, you can create a brand kit. So you can control how everything that you put out looks the same. We've created a Join the Song one, which is all the Christmas stuff, which we've talked about. Really recommend you using it. There's some really fantastic stuff on there. And with Christmas, or Advent beginning rather, in just under a month's time. It'd be great. All these resources you can find on a church near you. But you can upload logos by pressing adding new and uploading. You can input colors through a hex code or CMYK code. Which all that is it tells the software exactly what color it is. You can choose fonts, and you can input what they are and where and customize it. So you can choose what your title font is. On Canva, there are so many fonts which you can use. All of these are absolutely free. Again, the ones with the crown are for pro accounts, but anything without, you can turn it on right now and use it. You can set it bold, how big you want it, all of that. I hope that's really self-explanatory. This is just to keep the consistency across all that you do. Brand voice, this is brand new. If I'm honest, I've not used it. In essence, you can use it can create bits of wording for you. And you can upload photos and graphics and all of that. Just on a side note with the Join the Song bits and pieces, they have two fonts that they recommend, or they have said to use. On Canva, these fonts aren't available. You have to have Adobe to use it. However, there is a Canva equivalent. So on Canva, for the title font, you'll see it all in the pack that you can download. But it's called Oswald, which is a fantastic name, a great name. And then for the body text, it's Nunito. Just putting that as a side note, just in case that is helpful. You can control different bits, you can set templates and all of that. Apps, there are different things which you can feed into Canva. I wouldn't worry too much about this. If you want to have a bit of a play, then do so, but don't worry about that at all. Up the top is the Create a Design button. If you press this, this is where you're going to start basically everything that you do. When you create a design, you can search for what you want it for. So some of your most common ones might come up top. However, you can search basically any size or create a custom size. So you might want to create an A4 document. If you put A4, there you go, you've got portrait and landscape. Likewise, if you are doing something different and very specific, you can create a custom size and choose how big or small you want it in pixels, inches, millimeters, centimeters. You can go up to 2 meters in dimensions, which is really helpful if you want to create, those fully up banners. You can do that on here. You can do something up to 2 meters, which is just a really helpful thing to note. But you can customize this as you like. Let's just go for Instagram for now. There's different things that you can do. But the standard Instagram image is now Instagram portrait, which is this top one. It used to be square, and now they've changed it. If you click on that, it will open up a brand new window in a new tab along the top, looking just like this. Sorry, it's taking a little bit longer to load. As you can see, it says, do you want to open it in the app? We'll leave it for now. If you've got the app, you can do that. And again, hopefully this is really straightforward. Like with all of this, I'd really recommend that you go away from this time together and go and have a look and give it a bit of a play. Press every button that's on there. You can't go that far wrong, and you can always undo up the top. So do give that a go. Again, in here, you can see different templates. So you might say, actually, I quite like the look of this one. Again, it's a pro one. If you click that, it'll pop it in. And then you can edit it. So you can put in whatever text you want. So diocese of Salisbury. Like that. Down that left-hand side, you have elements, which are Canva's inbuilt graphics. There are charts, there are shapes, there are more graphic-y things in there as well. There's a new AI image generators, which you can have a whole lot of fun with, stickers, so many different things. One thing which is really helpful, I think, to note is the frames. You can do a frame and we'll show you how to upload a photo, but you can make a photo fit into a frame. So if you want the photo to look slightly different, you can do that. Text, you can see from the join song, the body and title fonts on the left-hand side, purely for ease of access. If you click on whichever one you want, you open up the text box, you can resize it to bigger or smaller and pop in what you want. You also have your brand kit, which we talked about earlier, your uploads, other apps, and all of that.
Okay, so as we were saying earlier, we've used the Follow the Star content from the Church of England just as an example. Obviously, all their graphics are really nice. They're really simple, but get to the point. And Will's done this little demonstration here to just show the potentials of what could be done really quickly that looks really effective. And I've also, just an example, obviously I've been using Canva for a while, but I did do this within about sort of 5 minutes earlier as a Remembrance Day prayer for this coming weekend. And it's really simple, but really effective. So I'm just going to show you very quickly how to upload a photo and what you can do with it through Canva Pro. So just through upload file, and I'll just use this one here. So once it's loaded into your doc here, you can actually make folders to categorize these. And as you can see, we've got all sorts of photos that we've used previously. And if you just click on it, then the image will come across to your screen. It's similar to Word and all the Microsoft platforms in the sense that moving it size-wise is the same, just drag and drop from the corner. And similar to Word as well, if you double click, you can crop it as well, which is obviously very similar to Word. So I'll just do that little demonstration there and then just click off for that to happen. Another great feature of Canva is the editing software that comes with it. It's way simpler than Photoshop or anything like that, because it does most things for you automatically. So you can click onto edit photo in the top left. And as you can see, we've got all our different features here, which are really easy to use. I'd say, just for this demonstration, obviously, the cross might be something you would use quite often, being churches. So you can just do BG remover, which is background remover. So I'll just wait until it works its magic. And then you've just got the cross there. So that's a really easy way, if you like the shape of something but didn't want the background with it, to remove it immediately. And then, of course, you could place this wherever you wanted, change the sizing of it as well. So I'll just pop it there for now. Also, it's worth noting, similar again to Microsoft, that you can adjust the layers. So you click on the picture, click the three dots, and then you can either make this as the background, I'll just Control Z, or if you right click, you can align it to certain places on the page. Also at the top here, you can do position. So that just brings up the whole details of whereabouts you want it. Obviously, if you're using, say, something like a logo and you want it in the bottom right of every page, and that might be an easy way of doing it. Another handy thing is, and you may have seen this yourselves on Instagram, we use Canva to edit our prayers. So you can create a video through using two still screens. So if you click the plus button here, that adds another page. And if you can add audio or videos here. So I'll just use a prayer, for example. Don't worry, Judy, I won't play it out loud. And you can adjust how much audio you're using. It then creates the video automatically, and the first screen would be that one, and the second that one. And to export that, it's as simple as share and then download. Anything else? Oh, there's one more thing with the photos as well. If I drag this image back in, if you hold it to the top left, it will fill the whole background. And also in Edit Photo, you can do this magic edit button. I won't do it now because obviously this is a high quality photo as it is, but if you have a dark photo or an overexposed photo, again, a really easy way without having to go into Photoshop or anything like that to edit it and to help out with the lighting. And that's similar here as well. So the auto adjust button brightens up an image if you need it to. For those of you who are more photography based, or that's how your mindset works, then obviously you can play with the brightness and colors as you please. Yeah, so I hope that makes sense. I'll hand back over to you now, Will.
Great. I'm very aware that there is a lot of information being thrown at you quite quickly here. But I hope what you're beginning to see is actually this is potentially be something very simple, which has a big effect. Canva isn't complicated. It just requires you to use it. So do give it a go. I hope actually the more you do use it, you'll begin to see the effect that it can have. Let me just go back to showing this and just pull up what we've just been going around with. The final things really to go over, and thank you for doing that, Alana, is just, again, I just want to highlight things like elements and text and uploads are basically going to be the things that you use most. Through adding text, you can click on it, make it as big or as small as you want. At the top, you have all your normal text controls, so alignment, bullet points, spacing, effects. You can give fun look, so you can make it all neon if you wanted to. That colour's not helpful, but if you change the colour at the top to that one, maybe that might work. Hopefully a lot of these are really self-explanatory, and it's just good to be able to, as I say, have a play around and see what happens. One thing I really find Canva helpful for is creating PowerPoints. You can create and save templates, but particularly, really because of the ease of use of it. If you, again, if we go back to the home one, we could create, like we did earlier, a PowerPoint with create design, research presentation. 16 by 9 is your standard widescreen layout. So if you're to watch the TV or work on a computer, the likelihood is you'll be working on a screen or looking at a screen which is that size. 4 by 3 is, you might remember, the sort of more square PowerPoints that used to be. That's that one. But if you go under this, and we'll use this as an example because it is really easy to do. Again, using what Alana's talked about, building up and what it looks like. I try and go from back to front if I can. So we might take an image like this one, right click, set it to background. We could edit it, so we could change how it looks. Again, using what Alana just said, there's loads of filters to save you time. This is all about trying to help you go up a level, but at the same time saving time and being really easy for you to use. So you find a look that you like, you add your text. We'll go with this one, and we'll call it example. Black's not going to work, so Control A selects it to choosing a color to white, and then you can play around with it. The great thing is you can animate it all as well. Like you can on PowerPoint, you can create page animations, text animations. We won't go through these. I'll let you play around with them. You can just see here how it's doing different bits and pieces. All really good fun to play with, but also can really change the feel of what something looks like. Elements are often customizable most of the time. You can search what you want. So it might be you want a Bible. If you search it, you'll see a whole load of things come up. You can filter it by color, by orientation, animation. Pro has more customizable bits and pieces, but let's use that first one. And as you can see on this element, we can customize it. So we can change the color of it to whatever we wanted. We can make it bigger or smaller. We can flip it horizontally or vertically. And we can do what we want with that. Under elements as well, there are things like lines and graphs and all of these different things which may be helpful at some point or another. I know 1 or 2 people who created APCM reports on here before and done the whole finance section with pie charts and all of that. So I do recommend that you have a play around and see what there is to do. One final thing really to say with this is the other great thing of Canva is it's all collaborative. You can work alongside other people wherever they are, as long as they have the internet. So at the top you'll see the DO, which is our initials on here. Next to it is the plus button. From here we can share it out. So all the people in your team will come up in here. So you can quite quickly do that. Likewise, you could email a link to someone else. So they do not have to be a part of your team to go onto it, but you can email a link. And they can work on it alongside you. You can also leave comments. You'll see this little thought bubble. You can add a comment. So if me and Alana were working on something together, I could say, Alana, please finish this off. I don't know. Add that, and there's a little note there which you can just see. So when you're working alongside other people, particularly on a bigger bit of work, that hopefully is just a nice visual way of doing that. I think that is all the main things. Alana mentioned earlier about downloading. The share button at the top corner. Again, you can collaborate. You can choose the privacy settings with that. In Present, you can download. You can also do printing, which I've never done before, but I hear from people who have it's actually quite good quality. So do explore that one. There might be cheaper alternatives available, so that's up to you. But also you can share it, you can schedule it. Downloading, you have a whole range of settings which you can use to download. PNG is normally what I would use for images. MP4 is video, PowerPoints, PDFs. Hopefully that's all straightforward. I think that is everything that we really wanted to cover. Alana, was there anything else?
I don't think so. Sarah just had no, it wasn't Sarah, sorry. Sarah had a question whether you can do booklets for orders of service on Canva.
Yeah, you can do it as a PDF. You'd have to print it off in the right way. It's still down to print it. But you can absolutely do that on there. The other great thing is you can duplicate a design. So in the top corner there is a dot. You press that and duplicate. You can copy it, create a copy. So you could edit it week by week without changing the ones from before, which is helpful. If you can do booklets, it's very easy to do. You just need to make sure you print it correctly. So yes, there is. I don't know how many of you are on Facebook, but if you are on Facebook, there's a Facebook group called Canva for Churches, which is largely it's American churches who do stuff on there. But questions get sent into there, design ideas get sent into there. If nothing else, it's quite nice to have a nosy of what other people are doing and see what people are up to. But if you're on Facebook, go on to Canva for Churches, that group. I mean, I've got 1 or 2 ideas from there before, and I think it's really good to be able to use other people who are doing something similar to help where you can.
It's also just worth noting we appreciate this is a very whistle-stop tour, and we will do sometimes go at a rate of knots without realizing that we're going at a rate of knots. But yeah, like I said previously, if you just play around with it, like we've been using it for a long time, so we're obviously gonna say, wow, it's really obvious, but it might not be to you guys. So yeah, literally to have a play around, and like Will said previously as well, there's lots of tutorials. This will be popped up on YouTube and linked to Grapevine, so it's going to be there as a resource for you guys to look over. Yeah, it's just worth noting that.
Yeah, and I see the comment about actually having an eye for design. It's all very good. Well, good using something, but if you don't know how to make something look good, what I would say is that's where the templates come in really handy. If you look through that bit, let me just share my screen one more time, and hopefully this will show you what I mean. Here we go. So if I don't know what you'd want. If you put in the church, again, a lot of these might not necessarily look relevant to who you are as a church. Obviously, different churches have different feels, and that's totally fine. But if you just search church, you can see a ton of things on here, which actually you might go, you know what, that might work, or I can do something along those lines. I've used this transformation one before. All of these come with their own templates and fonts and all of that. But hopefully just scanning through some of that, you can see, and you can filter that down. So it might be you want a PowerPoint. You can go through your filter. You can go through your filters, change what you want, narrow it down, all through these bits, and hopefully that will help. But something like this, actually, someone somewhere else have probably spent hours and hours doing this, making this all look good, and absolutely, so you can go, you know what, I might make that. So do that. And just to show you, if you press customize as template, it will save a version for you. So it's not like you're editing the actual one. Don't worry about that. On the left hand side, you can see all the different pages to it. And you can either drag and drop to where you want them, or you can just add a page and select it. Type in your text, change the pictures as we've shown you, and that will get you a long way on.
Will, I'm just going to share my screen quickly, if you don't mind,
Go
just
for it.
show you how to upload it to Facebook.
Yes,
because obviously that's
you.
the platform the majority of you guys use. So let me share my screen. Also, just as a note, I've just shared the link in the chat, but this is our YouTube channel. So literally just Diocese of Salisbury into YouTube, and the tutorial will be on there. So This is our Facebook site, as you can see. And yeah, so if I pop into doing a post as you would a standard normal post, click onto the little photo-video icon, and you can either drag or drop or just click on it. I'll use the Remembrance Day prayer as an example, and literally open just as you would a normal image, and then obviously won't post it because that will go to ours and I'll get told off. But pop in whatever caption you'd like. Prayer for Sunday, and then you can scroll down and just post as you usually would. So if you've exported it, as we said earlier, as a JPEG or as PNG, then you can add it onto Facebook really easily like that. I hope that makes sense.
Amazing. Thanks, Alana. I think that's all that we wanted to cover. We're very aware that we've gone through a lot very quickly. So do feel free at any point to get in touch with us. We'll be sending out an email after just with some of the key links on it. But if there are any other questions, feel free just to go through it, and I'll delegate Alana to answer them. No, we'll try and help you. But if something comes up after, do drop us an email and we will help best we can. And I'll put the email in the chat, so that is there.
So,
Thank you so much.
Can share directly from Canva. Yeah, so if you download it, it's then a JPEG in its own right, and then you upload that to Facebook, Instagram, whatever platform takes your fancy.
Okay, so it's really just a question about where you yourself want to store it, on your computer or within Canva.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And once you've downloaded it, it goes straight into your downloads. But obviously, if you want to pop it into a folder so you know where it is, then that's completely up to you.
Okay, thank you. It's a whole new world. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
And one final tip, I think I would just say, is whenever you upload anything into Canva or download it out of it, just make sure you know what you've named it, because it'll make it a whole lot easier to go and find it after.
You don't want to dock one situation on your hands.
No, absolutely. Great. Well, thank you guys.